Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for a new battle report featuring my Infernal Dwarves. It's another practice game. I recorded this video before the book came out. I was able to test it before, so just please keep in mind that it might be that some aspect, one or the other aspect or name change in the meantime before the release. If it's the case, I will just write it down in the description under the video so that you know what changed in the meantime. The list I wanted to try during this game was a Prophet Master Alchemy as a general. I really like this combination as a general because it's very safe in a bunker, and wearing the Binding Scroll, always a very useful item. BSB with 4-up, arm save for broad save, great weapon, flaming standard, an Overlord with the Tauruk ritual options, with Kadim, I think it's called Shieldbearer or something like that, giving him parry, and he's still able to use weapon with two-handed. For example, he can use a great weapon and still use the shield, so still have parry, which is quite interesting. Something similar to what Warrior of the Dark God have in their book. And the Death Cheater giving him the 4-up regeneration. Prophet Adept Occultism on the Bull. Big fan of this combination. With the Infernal Weapon, it's 6 attack, strength 5 totally, plus impact hits, not bad. The movement is not so high as it used to be, but it's still quite interesting. 26 Citadel Guard with Spear and a Banner of the Rentes Company, 2 times 20 Slaves, 12 Warrior, 5 Tauruk with Paired Weapon, 7 Tauruk with Infernal Weapon, Shield, Musician Champion, 5 Vassal Cavalries, and 2 times Infernal Engine, 1 time with the rock, I think it's called Rock Crusher option, so the close option, and second time with the Rocket Battery, so the 4-shot strength 6. My opponent, a good friend of the club, was playing an Exalted Herald as a general, a Feldark Ancestor, and 2 Feldark Elder, plus 3 Feldarks, so really monstrous list. Master Evocation on War Dice, 2-time 12 Warrior of Grid, so the Master of Weapons with the Relentless Company, and 2 times 5 Flayers as a Piece of Chaff. We played the Diagonal and Hold the Ground, so very aggressive combination, because you need to go to the middle, and with the short distance between the two armies, it's a really very close combat oriented matchup, so to say. Selected for spell Quicksilver Lash, Silver Spike, Corruption of Thin, and World of Iron, and for the Occultism the Aegis boost, or giving the Aegis to somebody, and Breast Weapon, which is one of my favorite spells in the game. I really like this Breast Weapon for my Occultism. And regarding the Overlord, I decided to go with Blessed Inscription. I thought with Strength 6 Blessed Inscription might help me in this matchup, since he has a lot of very high toughness monsters. And my opponent took both snipes, the combat debuff, so -1 toughness and leadership, and the reroll to wound. He took the Wrath of God and Gravecall and Mark for Doom, so very, very aggressive combination with a lot of damage and 2 combat buff. What can I say regarding the matchup? It's a very aggressive War of the Dark God army. A lot of tools to deal with my 2 tanks. 2 tanks can be challenging for many armies with the toughness 7, but he has a lot of high strength monsters, so he should be able to do some damage in combat. The Overlord could fight against the Elder, but not the Ancestor. He's probably too strong for me, so I should really target the Ancestor with the range damage and give him chaff if needed. The Flying Bull should target the Warrior unit. I don't have a lot of juicy targets for the Flying Bull. The Elder are too strong for him. The Exalted Herald as well, so I should really try to go and threat a little bit the scoring unit. And of course, I need to try to get rushed, because if he's able to rush me with a lot of single model, I won't be able to deal with all of them at the same time. So if possible, I would like to start the game to gain a phase of shooting and magic before he comes into combat. Okay, deployment. He was able to choose the side, so I was able to drop for first turn. I put on the left my 5 Tauruk Paired Weapon, the Bull, who wanted to play a little bit with the hill, 20 Slaves, the Combat Grinder, Engine, Chaff, the Bunker. At the moment, the General is here on the corner to gain some range, the BSB, the Block of Citadel, the Shooty Tank, 20 Slaves, 7 Toruk with the Overlord in the unit, and for my opponent, he put here the Elder with the Halberd, 5 Flayers, a unit of Warriors with the Mage, the Ancestor, another Chaff, 3 Feldark, the second unit of Warrior, the second Elder with Spared Weapon, and the Exalted Herald on top. Okay, I started the game this way, so I'm quite careful at the moment. He put everything outside of the shooting range of the tank, so well done by him. I had no opportunity to shoot him, so I will just go and shoot at the Chaff, hoping for a lucky panic check. Here I move a little bit around, but still keeping things tight here in the middle. And my idea was, if needed, I can always close back a little bit and use the house to close a bit my battle line. And of course I want to threat him with the Citadel Guard and go near the center as soon as possible. Here I made sure to see what are all these possibilities to make good cover with the combat tank, and here I just moved a little bit magic. I'm able to give a breath weapon to the tank. I tried a silver spike on the Feldark, I guess, yeah, the Feldark. But this was dispelled, so the breath weapon in, but the spike out. I tried it as well, Quicksilver Lash on the Feldark, but failed. And then I tried to boost with 1 dice the Aegis, but this failed as well. With the shooting, I was able to kill 3 Siren, but more interesting, I was able to do 3 wounds to the Exalted Herald. So I was able to save only 1 with the ward save, and I was able to cause 3 wounds. So that's really huge on turn 1. Really happy about that. That was unexpected. Turn 1, Warrior of the Dark God comes a bit forward with his monster. So here on south, chaffing my Overlord and the unit in the process, coming forward a bit all around, trying to get some ranges. And the Exalted Herald stays behind to not give me any charge for the tank. In magic, he's able to do Aston the Hour on this unit to do 1 wound on the Overlord, 1 wound on the champion, and 1 wound on the unit, so not bad. I'm able to pass the leadership check on a 10, and with 4 dice against 5, I'm able to dispel the Wrath of God, which is good. Let's move on to turn 2. I need to move back in the south. I'm really threatened by his spells, so I move back with the Overlord and use the Magician to move back with the unit, giving him a 10 Swift Stride to catch me. I hope he won't. I can still flee, but it's still a bit dangerous because he could charge with the Siren then and just make me flee off the board with 300 more units. So it costs quite a lot. Here I'm trying to bait him with the slaves, putting the bull behind, as well as the tank to have some option of counter charges if needed. In the middle, I'm just getting to the 6 inch of the board, and here getting the tank in place to shoot at the Ancestor. In the version of the book I was using, this has an impact because the version I was using, it was still 4 cannon shots on the rocket battery. And I saw that in the last version, it's not anymore cannon shot, meaning that you have less accuracy due to the cover. So here with hard cover, it would have been much more harder to shoot at him. With cannon shot, of course, against gigantic no cover, it's something completely different. So that had an impact during this game. So we'll see turn 2 magic. I'm able to cast a Quicksilver Lash and do 2 wounds to the Ancestors. That was good. And then I'm able to cast -1 with Corruption of Sin on him to delete any armor save against shooting. I'm trying to cast a breath weapon again on, I guess, the tank to breath at the Herald, but this gets dispelled. And with cannon, I'm able to cause 3 wounds to the Ancestors, so only 2 left. So that's really good from the rocket battery and the magic. Let's move on to turn 2. He comes quite aggressive with the Elder in front of my block. Then he comes here to chaff at the moment my tank to avoid any kind of counter charges with the Sirens. What else? He comes behind with the Elder, moves a bit forward with the Warriors, and he moves back with the Ancestor with only 2 wounds remaining. It's a bit risky. Moves behind the wall to cast spell at my Toruk, and he was able to connect the 10 Swift Stride with the Elder, which is quite huge for him. In the magic, he's casting D3 hits on the Overlord and is able to cause another wound, so wounding on 4+, then I have my regen, but it's causing another wound, so I have only one wound left. And then it tries to cast the Wrath of God and is able to cast in, so I cannot avoid that. It did a very high roll, and then I'm able to cast the auto hit on the Overlord, so it's able to cast a good comet between my lines, which is quite dangerous, but I couldn't avoid that. And regarding the center, I'm able to gain the first point for the hold the ground, which is a good news. It was a bit too far away with the warrior, so that's a good news for me. Okay, let's move on to turn 3. Decided not to charge, just wanted to shoot at him on short range against the Feldark. I'm using my slaves to form a Congo line to chaff the Exalted Herald. Here I just moved the general back and reformed a little bit the Citadel Guard to gain some ranks, to be able to absorb the likely combo charge of both these two units. One thing I saw at the time, it was not able for him to contact without charging with the Siren, which is good news for me, because charging my tank would mean that I would probably be free on my turn, so that would be a good news. So if you want to get the combo charge, he has to charge my tank, and of course he would be really near from his Wrath of God, so that also can play an impact. Just moving a little bit with the Overlord to block him, but I cannot do much. I don't want to come near to the Wrath of God, so I'm a bit blocked. I just moved. I think I could have probably... No, it didn't fit. I checked the charge, but it was impossible. So I just move on the side with the tank to prepare the counter charge on next turn, and move as far away as possible from the Wrath of God with the 5 cavalry. What I need to say as well is this Wrath of God is with reroll to wound, so it can cause a lot of damage on his big monster as well. It can unchaff me, it can cause a lot of problem for him, so we'll see what happens. During magic phase, I'm trying to cast a Quicksilver Lash on the Feldark, but I'm doing nothing. I'm trying to cast a Breast Weapon on the Bull to try to finish the Exalted Herald. I don't know how I did. I think he got only 1 wound left. I don't know how I did it. Or just 3 wounds. I think he has 4 wounds total, so I did only 3 wounds. I think he has 1 left. So I tried to cast a Breast Weapon, but that was dispelled. And then with the tank, I'm able to cause 3 wounds to the Eldark and 1 wound with the pistols. So he has only 2 wounds remaining, but that might be enough for him to go into combat. Next turn, of course, he gets all charges, taking a lot of risk. That's his playstyle. So he comes forward and charges with Sirens to make way for the Feldark to contact with the Feldark Ancestor, which might be a lot, but I guess I should be steadfast. I have a lot of ranks, and my BSB is striking at strength 6, and I have a lot of attacks, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a good way to test. Okay, and moves around with the Felder. As you can see, he's not afraid of his own Wrath of God, who could really do a havoc in the middle. He took the bait. I chaffed him with the slaves, so he took the bait and charged my slaves, and moves a bit forward with the Ancestor to threat me in the back, since I'm a bit occupied with my tank. And moved back with the warrior, doesn't want to get charged by my tank. And I guess that's it. Still sleeping in the back with the second piece of chaff, who could be useful in later stage. Magic. With the stand and shoot, I was able to cause with the 14 shot of pistols 2 wounds on the Feldark, which was really good. I'm using my binding scroll to avoid the fact that he casts -1 toughness and leadership, because I will have to take a steadfast check on an 8. I don't want to take it on a 7, and I think I need to avoid him wounding me on 2+ with the Feldark. So binding scroll, but he's able to cast reroll to wound on the Feldark. It tries to put the automatic hit on my Overlord. I dispel it, but then with the other snipe, he's able to kill my Overlord, so I couldn't avoid that. So he gets a lot of points. And then the Wrath of God comes down, and luckily for him, he only does 4 on the range, so +2, 6. So it only hits my unit, nothing to him. So that was quite lucky. Kills 7 warriors, 6 Citadel Guard, which is huge because I had a 5-up armor save, but still able to kill 6 of them. And then I'm able to do 1 armor save on the tank. In combat, my Citadel caused 7 wounds to the Feldark, but he's still able to do a lot of casualties. I didn't expect that. He's really able to do a lot of them. He's doing a Thunderstorm with 6 wounds, really causing a lot of casualties, and he's able to deny my Steadfast just with 1 model. So I have to roll a 4 rerollable, and I'm able to stick, which is huge. Has only 1 Feldark remaining, and the Elder with, I guess, 1 wound. So that was, 2 wounds, still 2 wounds remaining. That was really huge, because I didn't expect that at all. I didn't count on the fact that the Wrath of God would do so much, and that he would be able to do so much in combat as well. So that was really unexpected. I was maybe a bit optimistic. And at the end of this turn, nobody takes the center. My slave are able to hold this turn, I guess. Yeah, turn 4 of Infernal Dwarves. Of course, I'm getting countercharge with the tank on the flank, hoping to cause the last 2 wounds. We'll see. With the impact. Here he has only a Feldark with 3 wounds remaining. Moving slightly back with the bunker, charging. I took this. I had a hard decision, because I had this guy here free. So basically the possibilities were the following: either charge in this combat, but I feel well. I mean, I have good counter charge. That is not needed. This is too far away. Nothing interesting. So then I can charge the warrior block. Could be interesting, but I mean, I won't do much, and he will still be able to attack a bit the slaves. So, and then I still have the problem with the Elder. And then the last option was to charge south. I thought, why not? With the impact, should be able to win this fight. He has 5 attack, intig on 2+, wounding on 4+. It can do 2 wounds on average, more or less, and then should be able to do more and get the charge. So we don't know. I take the charge south. We'll see what happens. Come a bit forward with the chaff to be ready to chaff the warrior on the next turn. Here I'm still in combat, so counter charge. And I took the charge with the bull. I hesitated a little bit, and I thought the bull should be fine. Let's go. And move out of arc of the Exalted Herald with the Toruk to be able to counter charge next turn. And reform the slaves just to tempt the Exalted Herald to charge, so that I can flee back if needed. Magic. I'm trying to cast a breast weapon on the bull, but this gets dispelled. Trying to cast +1 Aegis on the bull, this gets dispelled as well. And then I'm able to cast +2 armor save on the tank, which is huge, because with +2 armor save, he has AP4, so I will have a 5-up. So this should reduce a little bit the number of casualties I should take in combat. So I'm quite happy about that. Combat, I'm only able to cause 1 wound with the impact of the tank, which is huge, because then he's able to strike, so he kills a lot of them, but I still win combat. He flees. I have to overrun with this guy, but he flees before. I think we made that correctly. So he flees before, so I overrun straight like a 10 here in the middle, which is not bad. And then this guy flees, and this guy got killed by the remaining attack of the Citadel, which was interesting. That was the last wound I had to cause. It was done by Citadel, so that was good. Here in the south, I'm able to cause 2 wounds to him, which is not bad, but then he's able to cause 3 wounds to me, which is huge, so he's able to tie the combat, and that was unexpected for me. So he's able to stick. I guess this time I don't remember if I'm still in combat or not, we'll see. I guess they flee, and here on top, that's unexpected. I'm able to cause only 2 wounds, and he's able to cause 3 wounds to me with the great weapon of greed. Of course, that's very good against me. I don't know what I saw by going into this combat, because I'm still taking like 8 plus 4 plus the champion, so 13 attack on 3+, so that's still able to cause a lot of wounds on my model. I shouldn't have taken this combat. I don't know what I wanted to try out, but that was a bad idea, so I have only 1 wound. I should be dead on next turn. Turn 4 of Warrior is using the chaff to avoid any kind of counter charges after I kill him, after he kills me. He was able to rally with the Feldark, so that was good news for him with the Alf leadership. He was able to counter charge with the warriors, so he had plenty. He was over here, so it was not able, I guess, to charge Citadel, so he decided to go for the... He decided to pursue the orc, and then ended up like here, and then charges into the tank, in the flank of the tank. So yeah, with grids, tank 6, that could help a little bit the Elder, and if the Elder next turn fluffs the roll, because I still have 1-up armor save, this could avoid the Elder fleeing. So this is a good question to know whether it was or not a good idea, but still it could help massively the Elder not fleeing. To my surprise, he still remains quite far away from the tank. I think he should have moved a bit here south or do something more threatening a little bit the center, and the Herald moved a bit to the center of the board. Magic is able to... Yeah, that was huge, this rally on the 5, but then he's able to try Mark for Doom on my general. I dispel it. This was the snipe version. It tries to snipe me with the D3, I guess on the general as well, or the BSB, I don't know, but failed. Or maybe the tank, don't know. And then he tried to put... I was able to cast Grave Call to clean my bunker and cause 1 wound to the general, which is not bad at all. So my general is on his own right now, and then just lost another scoring unit. He's able to kill me and just pivot, and let's move on to my turn 5. Here in the south, I forgot to tell you, he did cause 2 wounds to me. I was able to cause a few casualties back, but I'm still alive with 1 wound remaining, which is a good news, because then I move south and we'll see what happened this turn. But I just put my tank to be able to get some kind of counter charge and protect the center. I put my unit back to score some other points. At the moment, I'm winning the scenario. I charge out with the BSB, trying to get the Feldark and still being within 6, but he fled, and then I guess, did I redirect my charge? Not sure at all. I think I didn't redirect the charge, but I should have redirected the charge into the warrior. With a lucky roll, I could have gone into the warrior. I guess I completely forgot, because I see in this direction. Should have charged. Yeah, I was not so far away from him, and I thought with the dice, maybe I will be able... I didn't see the warrior. You see him at position at the beginning, so I was only able to see this guy, so no other possibilities. So just made a fail charge and reformed with the Citadel, moved back with the Toruk. Yeah. And rally the Chaff. The Chaff had a flee on the previous turn due to the casualties caused by the Wrath of God, so yeah. I guess that was the reason, or due to the fact. Yes, I think that's the previous turn. My unit of slaves moved straight off the board, causing a panic on 9 rerollable for the Chaff, who fled, and then this turn was able to rally. That's the situation. Sorry. Let's see magic. I'm trying to cast a Quicksilver Lash on the warrior, but I'm only able to kill 1. And then I cast +1 armor save to prepare for this combat. In this combat, I'm able to kill 3 of them, and he does nothing in return to me. So he fluffs the roll completely. I'm winning, and he has to pass 7 rerollable, and he passes for both. So that was huge. Me still alive, winning the combat, because I will be able to charge in the turn 6. So this is not bad at all. I was quite unlucky at the beginning with the tank, I guess, with this lucky roll from his attack on the turn I charge. But now I have been lucky to survive with getting no wound in return this turn. So that was very surprising, this combat. At turn 5, it charges my BSB, who fled. He had no other charges on the BSB, so I thought, why don't I just flee? Redirect, passes the leadership check, and redirect into the Citadel, who stand and shot, but did nothing in return. Here we still in combat. Moves a bit the Exalted Herald to threat me. Didn't rally the Feldark, and stay back with the Ancestor. Again, I think he should have moved forward to threat me on the turn 6. He could have charged the BSB or do something interesting in the middle and trying to avoid me getting the scenario. It's still very tense for the scenario, because I have only, I guess, 1 point more than him. So if he kills me and wins it end of turn 5 and not turn 6, he wins the scenario. So this is a very important combat. In Magic, he's able to cast -1 toughness. He rolls a 5, a 6, and a 6. So I'm like, okay, I get it. And then reroll to wound. I'm able to dispel it with 4 dice against 2. But then he gets Grave Call off and 1 shot to Toruk. Okay, can't avoid that. The tank gets killed, obviously. And here I'm able to pass one armor save with the mage. I think he took paired weapon, and I was able to do 3 armor saves. So I had 2+ armor save going to, I think, he took halberd. So I was able to save on 4+ with the unit and 5+ with the mage, 1 wound. So I saved 1 with the mage, I saved 3 with the unit, and I'm able to cause 3 in return. So that was really, really good for me. But I think he loses by 1 and passes the leadership this time. I guess he was charging and caused like 2 wounds to me probably, and I have a standard and did 3 wounds. So I guess he was losing by 1. We'll see. Yeah, I did like 1, 2, 3 wounds. Yeah, I was winning by 1, so I was able to pass the leadership check. Turn 6, I just need to protect the flank, because if he charges with the Herald on my mage, I'm basically dead. So I just made sure that it's not able to overrun or get into contact with the mage. The tank charges the warrior with overrun pass into the Elder. Quite optimistic to get these points. Able to rally the BSB. And that's it. So not a lot of units left on the board. Still has only 1 wound remaining on the Exalted Herald. We'll see if I'm able to finish this. I'm trying to cast +2 armor save on the Citadel, but my opponent dispels it. I'm trying to cast -1 armor save, but failed. And then in combat, I'm able here to stick. I do 1 wound to him, he does 2 to me. We are on a tie, so we still stick. It's an unbelievable combat. And here, yeah, I guess that's all. Here I'm able to get the 4 Swift Ride to get the overrun into the Elder. So that's a good news for me. Turn 6, charges in with the mage. He needed an 8 on 2 dice and was able to connect, which is very bad news for me. The mage against my 3 guys plus the mage, the general, which is worth a lot of points. The Exalted Herald charges. I need to stay, because if not, he could charge in this unit, so I need to stay. I stand and shoot, but did nothing, and that's it. Magic. He tried to cast -1 toughness on this unit. I dispel it because I will need my leadership, and then gets a reroll to wound on the champion. He tried to cast Mark for Doom on my BSB, but I dispel it, and that's it. Combat is able to wipe out my 3 guys. I have only my general left. I'm able to cause 1 wound to him. I'm still alive with 1 wound, and I'm able to pass the 5 rerollable, which is insane, completely insane. And here south, I'm able to kill with the grinding to kill completely the Elder. So great. And here the last combat. This was tense because he has only 1 wound. He did only 2 wounds to me. So I'm able to attack with 9 attack on 5 up, 6 up. I'm able to cause 1 wound. He has to save on 4 up. Failed, and then he had ward save 4 up, and if he failed the ward save, I mean, this is huge. This is the general with 1 wound remaining, and he passes the ward save. So that was a huge, very intense here in the middle with post general, mine surviving, his surviving. That was really, really tense at the end of the game. Okay, that's the end picture. So very intense game. We tried out a lot of things. Not everything was very smart. Not everything worked well, but this was an interesting game to play. At the end, we end up with a 10-10 because I'm able to get the scenario with this huge performance from the Citadel Guard who stick in many, many combats. So that's what he took. We should just, sorry, I just put in the wrong column, but that's the point Kitinik took for me, and that's the point I took for him. So just 7 to 13, and then I'm able to get the scenario which makes it 10-10. Crazy 10-10, crazy 10-10. I guess we had various stages during this game. A stage where I was feeling good at the beginning, then I was feeling not so good, and I passes a lucky 4 rerollable, I guess, or 4 or 5 rerollable with the Citadel block. And then again, I had some opening, but took not all the best decision during this game. So overall, a lucky draw for me. I had a good start, but made bad decision. I think the orientation of the bull on turn 2, he could have looked in the center to charge possibly the Feldark or chaff them and just avoid getting this nasty counter charge. the charge of the shooting engine at the end of the game. I should have, on turn 3, I should have just just move forward, shoot at the Elder with short range, and just wait for the charge. I think it would have been much, much better, because I'm better at shooting than in combat. Bull going for the Warriors, that was a bad decision. I thought during the matchup analysis that it could be a good combat for me, but with strength 6, that's something to avoid for the Bull. I don't have enough defense to take this combat. And of course, the BSB fleeing from the Warrior, I don't think it was the best idea to flee from this charge, because the BSB could have sticked. I have 4 ward save, depending what he does. I could also make him flee. I have 3 attack strength 6, hitting on 3+, so I should have stayed, not flee against this charge, I guess. And of course, regarding the Warrior of the Dark God, the decision going to the tank, I'm not sure. Of course, it saved the Elder, but on the other hand, it didn't allow him to get to the scenario or to threaten my center. So I'm not sure that was the best idea. And as I pointed out during this game, he could have gone back in the game, especially when I was in combat with the shooting engine. He should have come with the Ancestor back in the center to threat me. That would have won him the game, I'm pretty sure. Warriors of Dark Magic has been really good during this game. I mean, very good Wrath of God, perfectly ranged for him. Killing the Overlord with the snipes and killing the Taurik with Gravecall. And of course, for me, the Grinder tank was huge, because he killed both Elder, finishing the Warrior block. So very good performance from the Grinder tank. Okay, that was all. Very interesting practice game. See you soon for another battle report featuring my Infernal Dwarves on my channel. Bye.